This E3 coverage is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create a professional website, blog, portfolio, and online store. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase on new accounts, head on over to squarespace.com and use offer code GAMEBREAKER6.
Okay. So my name is Victoria Voss. I am the producer at Tryon Worlds for ArcheAge. And I don't know how much, I know you guys know a bit about ArcheAge. How much do you know about ArcheAge? All right, awesome. And you?
Same.
Sweet. We're going to start from the beginning. You guys are going to get a review. Sorry, guys. So we're going to start off with a quick video that's going to show you some of the basic features of ArcheAge. It's also going to show you some of the exciting factors in the end game that we can't really show you with just 2 people here, because I need sort of like 100 people, and I can't clone myself that many times. So ArcheAge was created by XL Games, and it's currently being published in North America and Europe by Tryon Worlds. So ArcheAge is a game about fame and fortune. It's about getting your friends together, building your nation, and then defending that nation from everyone else who's trying to take it over. And if you feel like it, taking over the world. So with any MMO, you start at the character creation screen. Here we've got 4 different races, and then you get into the character creation itself. And the character creator is super detailed. I mean, if you want to, you can move your cheekbones up and down, but you can also move your jawbone forward and backwards. I mean, it's just amazing levels of detail in this character. Once you've picked the character that you like to see, you go ahead and you pick... Ugly! You go ahead and pick the classes that you want. At level 1, you start with 6 different classes. You get to pick one of these 6. But as you level up, you get to add additional classes to what you have. So at level 5 and level 10, you add an additional class. And you have a larger range than these 6 classes. So by level 10, you have a combination of 3 different classes and the specific skills that you have chosen within those classes. So if you want to be a warrior who can stand there and really take a hit and then throw out a fireball, totally doable. ArcheAge was created by Jake Song, who was the creator of Lineage and Lineage 2. And when he was creating ArcheAge, he really built a game that is designed for the Western audience. This game is not designed for grind. It is designed for, well, I almost accidentally level up. I'm just sitting down and playing, and then all of a sudden I have leveled up, which is really kind of cool. And as I mentioned before, there are 4 different races in the game. Depending on which race you pick, you're going to end up in a different starting area. On the Western continent, if you are a Nuian or an elf, you're going to start out there. That's the Western continent of Nuian. And this is one of the areas that you're going to get to a little bit later in the game, not too far in. You're still in single-digit levels. It has a well that you can actually take and plant for your plants and water your plants, as well as all of the crafting stations and all the main NPCs that you need. Now, if you select a Hariharan or a fair, wrong game, and a fair is what we're running around with right here, you're going to start out on the eastern continent of Harihara. And this continent has a much more eastern look and feel. As you can see here, the architecture is very different, as well as the big mountain vistas, the beautiful running lakes. There we go. And BJ is running out on a glider here. The gliders are basically the flying mounts, and I put flying mounts in quotes because they really are more like modern gliders than a mount that flies. They do descend over time, so you want to pick a nice high spot to get a nice long ramp. And there is falling damage, so you want to be very careful on when you decide to turn it off and jump off of your glider. Now, once you leave the beginning 2 areas, you are going to go into the Sea of Serenity and the Land of Origin. Now, these are 2 PvP zones. They are mid to high level, and they're the zones where you can really start building your nation. on the land of origin is where you're going to build your castles. If you build a castle, then you can take over the land all around it. Anyone who builds on that land is going to pay taxes, and they're going to pay taxes to you. And you get to set what those taxes are. One of the challenges there is that periodically, your castle is going to come up for attack. And somebody's going to try to take it from you. If they take over your castle, all of those taxes and all of that land now goes to them, and you're going to have to start over or take it back from them. To build the castles and to build the boats, you need resources, and the resources are created by farming generally. There are some resources out in the wild in the open world, but they tend to get cleaned up pretty quickly. You can see here we've got some trees, some plants. What do we have? We have a goat, we have a sheep. Yes, we have a goat, a sheep, and a goose. There's a number of different animals and different plants that you can have and raise. You take the lumber from the trees as well as the wool from the sheep and some other items, and you create these resource packs. The resource packs are very large bundles of a lot of resources. They take a fair amount of time to make, and they are the building blocks for the larger components of crafting. So the houses, the ships, and the castles all require resource packs in order to create them. As you can see, they're kind of heavy. If you want to walk from one place to another, if you can swim all the way over to the land of origin if you want to, not recommended. It would take for freaking ever. You can, if you want to, ride a donkey. On the land, donkey's a fairly decent way to transport a resource pack. You can only have one at a time on a donkey. And the donkeys also swim, so it's a nice, easy transition, taking that resource pack from your house down into the ocean and onto your boat. However, you can only transport one resource pack at a time. And on these boats, for instance, these are some of the larger boats, and they take 15 resource packs. So it's highly recommended that you get 14 of your favorite friends, and everybody brings a resource pack, and you all get together and build the boat. You can, if you want, build a boat on your own. You can line up those resource packs on the dock, but one of the challenges is that other people can come by and take those resource packs from you. Because, you know, it takes a lot of time and effort to make one, and if you see one lying around, you might just pick it up. Once you've launched the boat is now yours, and it's not going to go anywhere, even if it despawns or gets destroyed. You can have your friends join you on the boat, and they can have one of a number of different jobs. Which boat are we have? Okay. Different jobs depending on different boats. I have to check which boat we have. So the only required job on any boat is the captain. You need someone to steer the boat, or it's not going to go anywhere. Beyond that, you can have people manning cannons. You can have folks in the crow's nest so that they can actually keep an eye out for other ships. Because one of the challenges is that... What are you doing?
Apparently
Did you have another ship summon?
the boat was out, even though I desummoned it earlier.
Oh.
But I guess I got teleported before that actually happened.
Oh, okay. So you can only have one boat out at a time, and if your other boat is somewhere else where you can't see, you can't summon a new one. This is the challenge we're running into right now. So while BJ is fixing that, yes. So one of the challenges on the boat, and why you want to make sure that there are someone keeping a lookout for other boats, is that everyone else is also on the ocean taking resources from the main continents to the land of origin. And some of those folks are your friends, and they're going to help you and protect you, and some of those folks are not. In fact, anyone on the other faction, or anyone on the third sort of non-faction, the pirates, are going to be the folks who are going to try to take the resources from you. Now, to become a pirate, it takes a bit of work. It's not a faction that you can choose on character creation. You have to actually get there by your behavior. And how you do that is by killing people of your own faction and taking their stuff. Whenever you do either one of those two things, it leaves a mark in the world. Players can see the mark and go ahead and record it, or report the mark. And if you've been reported enough times, you're going to go to trial when you log in. The trial is a trial by jury, and it's a jury of your peers. It's 5 people who also play the game on your server, who may know you if you're particularly bad, and are going to decide if you're guilty or innocent. If they decide that you're guilty, you're going to go to jail. If you go to jail enough times, the factions decide that you're not worth hanging on to, and they're going to exile you. So you're not going to be able to talk to anyone on any of the main 2 continents. The NPCs are going to ignore you and try to kill you. You do, however, have a land called Pirate Island. And Pirate Island has all of the NPCs that you need to keep moving forward. It also has housing areas and farming areas. However, Pirate Island is fairly small, and depending on the number of pirates, the farming land and the housing land can get pretty well taken over. So a lot of pirates are going to get their resources to build their castles on the land of origin by taking the resources from other people. So you do have to keep an eye out, make sure that there's no other... and we're running around on a pirate ship. Make sure that there are no other pirates in the area that are going to take your stuff from you. Or make sure you have enough friends to defend against anyone who is trying to do that. So one of the key things in the end game is building these nations. And one of the really cool things about ArcheAge is that you don't have to be one of the people doing the PvP to really contribute to building these nations. You can stay on one of the 2 main continents in one of the safe areas and create the resource packs, create the items that they need, and help ship them off and supply the folks that are actually doing the building and the killing on the land of origin. So one person, no PvP, and you can still really contribute to the world. So it's this whole cycle of creating the resources, taking the resources to where they need to be, building the castles and the boats and the houses and the tables and the chairs and the pillows and whatever else you need to build, and then actually having the conflict that is the cycle that really makes ArcheAge into something that's very special and something we think is going to do really well in the West. And BJ is going to keep playing and running into gliders. Are there any questions?
This E3 coverage is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create a professional website, blog, portfolio, and online store. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase on new accounts, head on over to squarespace.com and use offer code GAMEBREAKER6.